Jack Collom is the loon's hero. Since the 1970s, he has taught poetry to children and adults with equal enthusiasm and expertise, from elementary schools to nursing homes to Naropa University. His 25 books include many more titles than I will say. Blue Heron and IBC, The Fox, Arguing with Something Plato Said, Red Car Goes By, selected poems over 45 years, Exchanges of Earth and Sky, Situation Sings, Second Nature, which won the 2013 Colorado Book Award for Poetry. He has been anthologized in countless magazines and collections in the US and abroad, from Best Poems of 1963 to the Best American Poetry 2004. Jack Collom is the loon's hero. Were it not for his outreach, the loon would not exist as an inspired and educational poetic form, first and foremost, or as this polysemantic publication that we celebrate tonight. We have modeled the journal after the beginner's mind approach to poetry, which is full of joy and play, and after the phenomenal impact of correspondence, a reminder that poetry is something we must share. Jack is always in touch with the word as a living critter, and the envelope is its skin. As for Yes and No, this new collection of acrostic poems, I'm going to catch my breath. Elizabeth Robinson says, Jack Collom employs the humble acrostic to weigh the yes and no of the universe. He nimbly molds the constraints of form in order to loft new realizations within language. Suddenly we are transported. No place is out of bounds. Playful, smart, and indelibly original. If you want proof that wonders never cease, enter these poems. And one last comment before we get to the reading from Andrew Schelling. Is Andrew here? I didn't see him. In any event, quote, who but Jack Collom would make a poetry sequence ranging from yippee to flammulated, out of a form so simple a child could sing it. Yes and No is one wild-minded acrostic. But then, Jack has studied nature like no other poet. Everybody please give a warm welcome to Jack.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you all for coming and everything like that. I'm going to read the manuscript now, and it is a series of acrostics of yes, A and D, and O, and it's also spaced kind of wildly on the page, so I'll try to account for that too in my reading. So here we go. Yeah, stuff emerges onto the so-called surface all the time. Nothing doing, nothing done, but nobody's on top forever. Yes and no. Yesterday ended. Something's alive in the new day. Nod, open your arms. Yippee with the extremes sanctified, the allowances of the middle need only to drive around. Almost no place is out of bounds. Yet another essay poem sallies forth. Apples never die, but do need their seeds to fall on and in the dirt. Yahoo! Eternity chops somebody's ancient nerve slices and dances on their noses, okay? And oh, yellow in the east seems to say, all right, night's over, day's here, but nothing, oh I, organized. I should say nothing's organized. Nothing's organized. This one, yield the egg's shape and we've got no real life-giving oval. Yell, emergency! Some appointed noodle nose will dive in, never come out. You enter the side door, all seems neutral, duck out. Nothing to do but keep on moving. Yes is an estimation of success, and no denies it, but next year is out dancing with space time. Yum! Eagles taste like Superman acts. Nevertheless, give me a dozen nest fresh flammulated owl eggs, please. You mean money exists so we can solve our problems? And no one here will donate a kiss for this nice fresh orange? A year can equal a river of space, though the average does not reach the delta, but nurtures a continuum of sides, rivers. Yvonne Jacquet, if you know her work. Yvonne, for example, shows us how altitude nurses dimension so that nature's never over. Her paintings of the city from above. And two more. This is different, but it's still a yes and no job. Yet, Mingo curbs of dallied effete rippling pouch on into docks, 6 offing imbue rain wrap-up, applying groaning their pitches due, nickel burst blue pop sweat, deal glare mixes spank hound, non-precedent official rope blackbird hams orgy with orgy smith dutiful fangs must. Yesternight perched Mama's B. Wilson, editor with whipping undone specs, servant viable, this pairing whiff, anchored jugs splay porch quarter. 9 shimmered dumb Harry approached. Drain detox married fairly grace. Nibbled hark meant rye eye batches. Outwalk Huron yellow boots wouldn't. That's just to bring us up to the end, which is here. New short sonnet, the ambiguital. You see the coming favor in the wise establishment, the open top, the E then, subtilizing motion and gray mess of all the forward, backward flows that S necessitates along the slow dance way, decided and decoded in the guess that none can conquer light upon a star, or else we're residents simply where we are. And that's the end. So, thank you. I have another idea here, since that was short. I've even more recently than that written a poem. It's called Poem, and it refers, I hope with good humor and all that, to such things as lungs and COPD. And I want to pass out copies to willy-nilly who can grab them. Can you aid me in that, Joe? So, because I want to ask you, the first page, if you look at it, is a big mess, mostly consisting of the word lungs and other words and non-words that rapid typing brought out to parallel lungs. So what I propose is that just for a few seconds, really, half a minute or something, we all together read this, all voices at once, and look it over for a second. It's mostly lungs, as I say, but the word fingers appears there, and lunge and other misspellings of lungs are all over the place. And so, if you are ready, we will read this poem.
Are you doing the back too?
No, I'm going to read the back myself.
Okay, sorry.
Read the back myself. Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Poem. Lungs, lungs, lunge, lung and finger. As ages that lung in Lulu, almost age long, lungs, is inarticulate, insulting, lungs, right arm, left arm, love, lantern, love,
Lunger, blue, life.
You did a great job. Okay. So having that as a start, I would like to read the page 2 myself, which is also acrostics. Every one of the term COPD. So here goes. And they go from short-lined ones to long-lined ones to short-lined ones again. Here they are. COPD. Composts ordinary people, ta-da! And clouds of Parisian-esque demise. And Collom, oh, perhaps a half decade. And cruising only partway downtown. And longer lines, to compose a short acrostic out of an existing acronym presents aesthetic difficulties. And complacency taking that long drag of oniric smoke, cocking an eye, eyeing the place called out, combustible old party days. New sentence, hello, Dolly, Lulu, affix. And come all ye young old fellows, young old, what does it say? Fellers.
Fellers.
That mainly follow the sea, lazy, organized selves to continue P&D, namely, pull my daisy. This next one's got a title, Cigarettes on Parade, Dudes. Coming into my late teens, my rebelliousness spread to include premature, quote, ornaments of, quote, adulthood, and didn't realize that yoking those two promotes deception. And can I match my mother's longevity of 92? No, I'm only a few annu circles away from that semi-Methuselaic chrono pile, but Philip Morris done begun to bring me down. And some shorter ones, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, that's its name. Code or perchance demonstration. And come out and play, darling. And correct, on it, perfecto, dead. And cuts out persistence of daylight. And constantly official, partly delirious. Cough, orchestrate particulars, duh. Costly organic police department. And closing off, just this piece of advice, deify lungs, 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 lungs.